welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to another Redmond Roundup. We're going back into the midfield merry-go-round where we talk about more midfielders who are linked with Liverpool. Believe me, I'm getting more sick of it than you are now. For those who don't know, let me keep you up to date. We've been linked with Thuram, we've been linked with Kone, who James or James Redmondinho likes to refer as the French gangsters. Now, we're going to talk about those links specifically in a minute, but today Fabrizio Romano mentions our name simultaneously with another name in the same tweet, and the name goes by Veiga. For those who don't know about him, neither do I. It's just one of those things. I've seen very little information. I've seen very little compilations, so I can't tell you about whether or not to prioritise this player over the other two that we've been linked with and the one that we've been talking about, which is Thuram and Kone. Now, the thing that I've been seeing from your comments is that yous are actually fans of Veiga. You believe he's a more technical type player and he can add to the team. And here's the thing, I believe he's one of those where if what I've read is true, then yes, that will apply very nicely in the squad. But we also know that football fans have a tendency to over-exaggerate players in the modern day. I believe he's 24, he might be younger. Apparently he had a done deal with Newcastle. That fell through or something never happened. Fabrizio Romano was saying all this in his tweet. And then the reason why we're interested is because we've had scouts monitoring this specific player for quite a while. So it's one of those things where now, as we're assessing the midfield options, then he's one of the options. Also, one thing I've said is that I'd take two more midfielders on top of McAllister. Fabrizio Romano came out and said, we're looking for two more midfielders. And if he says it, you've got to take that with some credibility and some legs. Does that mean it will happen? No, because what is today's news is not in 2 weeks' time's news or 3 weeks' time's news. Also, it's not to suggest that them two midfielders will be good options or underwhelming options. So I'm not trying to put negativity into the air because we don't know who the players are. But all we do know is that two midfielders is what Liverpool is looking at. We still don't know if that's going to happen and if they're going to be good enough. That's what I'm raising that point there. So let me know what you think about Veiga, because I know very little, and therefore that's why I need to ask you guys to give me that little bit more knowledge. If there's any injury records, if there's any insight on the type of player that he is, if there's somebody that you can compare him to in the Liverpool squad, then let me know, and then we can come up and in the live stream tonight and in future episodes we can go more into the player. Referencing or transitioning into the Kone and Thuram talks. Now, Thuram, I feel like that's just on pause at the moment, and if the club and the player is in talks, then that's just one of those where we don't know about the information or the updates which is going on. The last thing I heard is that the club, Nice, are fine to let Liverpool and this player specifically talk about a potential deal, at least agree in personal terms, or trying to agree personal terms if they haven't already. But we don't know about all the information there. But I do want to talk about Kone. Sky Sports reported yesterday saying that Liverpool are likely not going to pursue the Borussia Mönchengladbach midfielder, because they all, isn't it mad the way they always say, like, the Borussia Mönchengladbach midfielder, or Liverpool is seduced by this, or what, like all the terms. And I'm just saying, I don't think we're going to get Kone. Not because of the Sky Sports report specifically. I just thought it was a very easy link from jump. I felt like there was legs to the Thuram links. I felt like the Kone one was just because we're linked with Thuram. We need a couple of midfielders. Kone was linked with a move or something along those lines, and then you can throw Liverpool in the hat as well. And that, you know, out of all the teams right now, it's the most believable one because we need midfielders. Therefore, if we don't have midfielders, that's a huge, huge issue. And Kone would be one of those where, you know, he's a big presence. He's good on the ball. Again, another midfielder that I'd need to see more of, but out of all the options, there was a point where I was kind of like number one with Kone and then number one with Thuram, and then it switched, and now I'm just getting to a point where when I analyse the whole midfield situation, you've got to ask the question, would these guys improve the midfield? And if the answer is I don't know, then that's a tough one to go by, because I still don't know about whether they would, and that's why I want your insight as well. Thuram a little bit more confident. Kone, I believe, over time could get better. But for the money that was being talked about, 40 million, do you think we've maybe missed out on something there? If there's some legs to the truth that we're not going to be going and getting him. And if we're not going to go and get him, then who are we going to go and get? And is it going to be Veiga? I saw someone today, you know, do you know what I hate on Twitter? The whole, Agent Trent Alexander-Arnold and Agent Jordan Henderson, like what they were doing with Jude Bellingham. Oh, it just made Jordan Henderson and Trent Alexander-Arnold look like creeps. You're onto that video months ago where the Madrid fan came over and said, Jude, you're going to be Ballon d'Or winner at Madrid. And Jude was there like, oh, really? And then he looked at Jordan Henderson and was just, I think he violated him by saying something. It was quite heavy, actually. But The point is that, you know, all these things, when you see a player with someone in training, you think it's all going to be going well and, oh, yeah, they're talking well. Here's the thing. Trent was talking to James Maddison. Someone tried to do the agent Trent thing. Do you even want James Maddison? I don't want James Maddison. I wouldn't mind James Maddison. Do I really want him? No. I also don't know how much he's going to be. Fair dues, he fits the English quota. There's been things that I like, there's been things that I don't like. Has he had a good season for Leicester? Yes. But do I see him as being a Liverpool necessary option? No, especially when we've just signed McAllister, who's an offensive midfield option. We've got Harvey Elliott, who we're not letting go. We're not letting go of Curtis Jones. These are other offensive midfield options that I'm just giving you back. Oh, also Fabio Carvalho, you know, a player that you were all crying about, is another offensive midfield option. So I don't think Maddison would be the guy to bring in, because he can only play in the offensive midfield role or in the front three. If he's not playing in either of those, he's quite a limited player. Therefore, I don't think he adds to the team, and I don't think he adds to the work rate. In fact, I think he takes away from it. So I wouldn't want James Maddison. He'd also want high wages, I would assume. So therefore, I would still look in the alternative leagues like Liga 1 and, you know, Bundesliga and explore there. But if there was anyone from the Championship or any of the relegated teams like Leicester or any of the, or Southampton, someone who I mentioned from Southampton for a right back is Kyle Walker-Peters. I thought, you know what, cheap, fits the English quota. You know, if Trent isn't going to be used as a midfielder, he'd be coming in as a backup right back anyway. I'm sure he'd be fine with doing that, and then he can even give Trent a little bit of competition if Trent is underperforming on the defensive front. And also it gives us a bit more flexibility to sometimes use Trent as a right back and then sometimes use him as a midfielder, or bring on Kyle Walker-Peters later in a game and then put Trent more further up the pitch. Because I'm not sure if we're going to sign Pavard. I don't think that's going to happen. Therefore, I believe if we are going to sign a right back, and apparently Liverpool want a defender, then Kyle Walker-Peters would be cheap, and he also kind of fits the profile. So I'm thinking, would that be the guy? But I also believe he has his own defensive deficiencies, let's say. But I do think he fits the profile of the type of right back we're looking for. But then also answer, would you give Conor Bradley a chance? It's a question I'm raising loads at the moment, because he was very good at Bolton, player of the season at Bolton, and then from there he got promoted, and he certainly wanted, you know, we brought in Calvin Ramsey from Aberdeen. We were open to the idea of him being the backup right back. Conor Bradley is now being established in the English football leagues. Can he now raise the level of being our backup right back is the question. And if we go and buy a Kyle Walker-Peters, then are we limiting Conor Bradley's success or chances to become a success at Liverpool? That's the main question. But guys, that's going to be the end of today's Redmond Roundup. Short, sweet, but lovely, yeah? Absolutely lovely. Smash a like, do subscribe. Also tune in later if you want to come into the live stream. We're going to be doing one talking about all the transfer news, any questions that you delve into, half an hour to 40 minutes of just absolutely football and genius talk. And it's going to be boss. It's going to be boss. But anyway, guys, yeah, appreciate the support on the channel recently, and I will see you all later. Peace out.